Hey everyone, it's Vlad Blagovic here again, and welcome back to the Full Funnel B2B Marketing Podcast. And today's guest is Carrina Ekvall from Epicor Software. She's leading their team for a manufacturing field demand generation, and she's like been a marketing, revenue-driven marketing executive for quite a while. Did some amazing campaigns. That's how we got in touch. And I'm really excited because we are going to talk about a revenue-driven marketing strategy, but also collaboration with sales and diving into some of those examples. So Carrina, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Let's dive in. Like you said, that we met in LinkedIn comments and you shared some amazing examples with me of some really creative demand generation campaigns. And can you share some examples of campaigns that you ran recently that worked really well?
Sure. Well, personally, I'm from traditional marketing, and so I've been in marketing for about 20 years, and I love doing direct mailers. I think those are a great way to break through, try something new, do some creativity, and work with an agency or your creative team to come up with some awesome ideas. I think if you can do it right and really match the copy to the creative images and whatever you're giving away or whatever is included in that mailer, it really can make a huge impact. And as we shared on LinkedIn, we did a video mailer and it showed a customer success story. And so think of just a little mini TV and about 5x7 mailer that we sent out. And it was so cool. We heard from our sales team. They were like, wow, how did you do that? How did you come up with that? And it was highly successful. We influenced 30 million in revenue, and the sales team loved it. They wanted to do more, a little bit more on the expensive side, but it definitely broke through, and we achieved our goal of helping the sales team get some revenue in the door.
Awesome. I think these days, I mean, with all the automation, everybody being online, it's actually, the it's the direct mail that stands out, especially if you do it in a way that you just described.
Yeah, I think, gifting or trying some cool different events. Obviously, we're all virtual now. And so recently we did a beer event, and I know people are testing that. They're trying wine or maybe food prep or different things. And I think that's all great. Definitely try it out. As marketers, we need to test things, try some different things. But we just recently did a beer event. Hadn't done one before, kind of stole the idea from Salesforce. And I think that's okay. Definitely give it a shot. But we had a salesperson just reach out to me the other day and say, thank you so much for hosting that beer event. I thought it was very successful. And they've been trying to reach a prospect for months. And they said they went to the beer event, and finally now tomorrow they actually have a meeting with that prospect. So give it a shot, try some different things, and see what you come up with. We just partnered with our sales team to figure out like, what would you like to try? And beer seemed like the way they wanted to try it out. Some of them participated and enjoy beer. So they thought it was a really great event. And like I said, we have one prospect that reacted to it, had a good time, and we've made a good moment for them, a creative moment. I think it's all about experiences. And if you can create that experience for a prospect, you'll be memorable, and hopefully they'll want to work with you.
Awesome. And could you walk me through the process that you would use to come up with a campaign like the one that you mentioned with the video mailer? Like what are some of the main things that you would be looking out to nail for this campaign to be successful?
Yeah, so for that one, we definitely wanted to highlight some really good stats or a great success story. I think those are so impactful to have your customers talking about you instead of you, saying how great you are. Obviously, a customer can really help you out so much. And so for those of you that know Big Ass Fans, which I love the name, I mean, how can you not? Big Ass Fans, it's so awesome. They went from, like 30 million to 300 million just by using our software. And obviously it took years to get there. I think it was like a 5-year span that they grew, but using our software really helped them get that operational improvements and, help them move forward. So for us, it was a customer success story, but maybe you have just a really good stat or thing that you want to promote or research or something. For us, for that video mailer, it just made sense for them to tell their story, get that video on the device and send that mailer out and just really break through. So for us, it was working with sales to identify, who could we highlight? What has had a really good success story for us? And get that coordinated. And luckily we already had the video and we just, reformatted it into this format and worked with a print agency that helped us source the little TVs and help us with the printing. And so, like I said, it just kind of came together as a group to figure out what would be the best thing to highlight.
And who was the targets, like new accounts, existing ones, frozen deals? What was the targeting there?
It was actually for that one, it was existing accounts. And, we were really focused on the success of that company and, how we could actually help them, our customers, even, do even more with their ERP solution. So many of them come to us with, hey, I'm having trouble with our existing ERP, or I've used a financials only software and I need to get a really manufacturing specific software. So can you help me? And so for our customers, they get the ERP, they get it in the cloud, they get, what they need. And then a few years later, they say, hey, I could really use some help with analytics. And so we have an analytics product, or, shipping is a really big issue for us. I really need help with that, or taxes or something. So we have some other additional add-on solutions. And so our customer account managers really enjoyed having that mailer to help them understand that there's more value to their ERP solution that we can provide.
Really for deal expansion, and that was the goal of the campaign. And
absolutely,
how did you synchronize with sales? Was it some warm up before? Was there some follow up on that campaign? How did you sync that?
Yeah, so we meet regularly with sales, sometimes ad hoc, but usually monthly. We meet with them to talk about campaigns. And, for this one, it was really, how is it working? So it was ongoing, discussions each week, like letting them know, hey, this mailer is dropping this day, the next week. Hey, follow up with your accounts to make sure they received it. Because you can put it in just a FedEx envelope, which is a great way to kind of hide that it's an important thing for them to open. Who doesn't want to just open their FedEx envelope? Or just a padded envelope or something that doesn't look salesy or markety, however you want to say it. And, so from a sales perspective, it's really, having that partnership to say, hey, this is when we dropped it. Please follow up. Let us know. Are you getting responses? Did they see it? What kind of comments did they share with you? I think those anecdotal information can really help you understand if a campaign was successful, even beyond the measurements of what it brought in afterwards.
But you basically had them on board from the beginning, right? You actually planned the campaign together.
Yes.
The targeting was also determined together. So
absolutely, the list is so important, and you really need to work with your sales team to understand, hey, which ones would you like me to target for this? Which ones are the ones we think we have a really good opportunity to get them to participate and ask for more information about a product that we're
promoting. In terms of
promoting.
size, how big was the list?
I think it was very small, so probably like 1,000. So we went really targeted, given that the cost was up there a little bit for those TVs because they're just little miniature TVs. So it was a little bit more expensive, but yeah, I think it just depends on, what you're doing from account-based marketing perspective. You can do that one to few and get really focused on that list and who do you think you can make an impact with for a higher premium type of mailer.
Absolutely. I think it was still a relatively big list considering the investment and the targeting. And okay, maybe just kind of shift gears and talk about the strategy, because you talk about a lot revenue-driven marketing strategy. And I was thinking, if let's say that you're just hired and you're tasked with developing a revenue-driven strategy for a complex solution like you guys are selling at Epicor Software, for a specific region, for a specific industry, so a situation similar to what you have right now. Can you walk us through the practical steps that you would take?
Yeah. So if you're just getting hired, obviously you've got that onboarding time and we'll forget that,
Yeah.
what you're doing now, maybe 30, 60 days in there. Then it's really just partnering with sales, partnering with product marketing, partnering with product development, really understanding what are the goals, what are the opportunities, and why are people buying? Like understand if you can get with customers, I think that's golden. And I think everyone should do that every chance they can to really understand, what are you solving for? What is the problem? And what does your solution solve for them? So definitely thinking about what's keeping up at night and how can we help you, and getting that understanding. So I think all that research, all that knowledge sharing is the first big step. And if you've got a good onboarding and you get those opportunities to really partner with everyone, that's your first big step. After that, it's really understanding from the data. For me, it's really looking at what works, what didn't. So we use Tableau. We have an attribution tool called Visible. And then, if those, you're still getting conflicting information, go into Salesforce, really understand what's converting and what is helping you convert from a marketing perspective. What is getting revenue? What is impacting, from a marketing perspective, what is impacting revenue? There might be some golden nuggets there that you can really say, hey, I'm going to focus on those channels that are really working and optimize those. And that'll help you get those first quick wins. Obviously, when you're first into a company, you want to show that value as soon as possible. So that's kind of how I would start, and then keep moving from there. Obviously, from a marketing perspective, you're going to want to try different things, but stay with the golden, tried and true for the first few months to make sure you're bringing those quick wins in and showing the value to that organization.
No, it makes a lot of sense. I was listening to a podcast interview by Josh Brown, and he was talking to a sales rep. I forgot her name, and she was telling her story. Before she started working as a rep, what she did is she actually called up prospects and customers of her prospective employer, and she chatted with them to understand what's really the value of the product. So she came in and she was totally ready.
Absolutely.
So I found that amazing. And what you said, like if you can get that talk time with the customers, that's golden. Totally agree.
Absolutely.
And if you're thinking about a strategy, how would you segment the market and distribute the budget?
Yeah. So again, that's really partnering and understanding what's the opportunities, where's their opportunity to make an impact, and working with sales. Definitely, they've got the insight of what is selling, what my customers are asking for, what are they looking to solve. So obviously, like you said, if you've done your research, what's working, what's not. So maybe it's an evaluation sites, and those are really performing. So how can you really make sure that has all the great information about your company, and really optimize that and make sure that those are the best they can be. And there's a premium for that. There's a cost to that. So I would start with, again, what's working, put the budget to those things. And if it's really working, see if you can add a little bit more budget to those. And then it's looking at those other channels of, okay, that's working. Could I repurpose and use it on another channel, and put budget to that? And so then just working your way through of all the different channels until you run out of money. Or you save it a little bit and try some things and test some things, and then say, okay, I'm going to wait 2 months. For example, you're doing digital ads, let's say, and you're targeting your target market. Try it for a month or two, and then decide, hey, that's actually working. So let me add a little bit more budget to that. So I think it's just fine tuning and optimizing as you go.
And in terms of like different tiers, like the biggest potential accounts versus smaller ones, is there any specific ways that you're distributing the budget between the targets?
Absolutely. Again, if you've partnered with your sales team, you'll understand what are the key accounts that you can really differentiate, which ones you really think you have an opportunity to be successful. And obviously I would double down on those to give more budget to those we believe we have a really good potential. And then that second tier, maybe it's more of a emails or content driven exercise where you're really just trying to get that more awareness. It's a little less budget. It's got a lot more accounts, so it's going to take a lot more time to move the needle with those. So yeah, you just really got to look at those account lists and partner with sales and really make some decisions based on the inputs you receive.
Makes sense. And so basically now we have our strategy. We know how to distribute the budget, what campaigns we will run. How do you get the buy-in from the execs?
Well, executives want revenue. So if you can prove what's working and say, hey, these three channels are providing X amount of revenue for us, or giving us X number of demos. These are the things I'm going to continue. And if you're looking to pilot something or try something new, and you need that executive buy-in, I would definitely try to show some results from maybe another organization, because obviously it's new, but give them some parameters of, hey, I'm going to try this out for a couple of months and it's a low risk investment of X amount of dollars. I would suspect I'm going to get X amount of leads or demo requests from this. I think if you have a very supportive marketing or CEO that you need to pitch this to, if they can understand, this is a pilot, I'm trying it out, I'm not going to put a lot of investment in it, they'll let you do that if they understand marketing and how that works. But again, you've really got to focus on, hey, these are the things that are working and providing revenue, and we're going to continue those. But these are the smaller investment, and love your buy-in to move forward with this, because I believe I can make an impact. And no guarantees, but would love to try this out and get your support.
And one thing that I sometimes see is you have your execs and they are focused, like you said, on revenue, right? And they are interested in how you can quickly get the results. But sometimes if you think about pure demand generation, sometimes it is generating demand, and it's not always, you can't really attribute educating potential buyers and without having them opt in, for gated content or for whatever. So there's no real attribution, and yet still you're making an impact and you're driving revenue. Did you ever had to kind of navigate these discussions with the executives, and how would you go about getting on board for some more long-term impact that's maybe not immediately measurable?
Yeah, so I think I've had this experience. We just rebranded at Epicor, and it's great. It's a new look. It's awesome. We've just launched a new website. We're doing some different brand campaigns where we're in airports, and that question comes up of, well, how are you going to measure that? And our performance marketing team is getting those questions right now. But what we're trying to show to the executives is what we're hearing from our sales team. So I just got an email from a sales rep that showed a picture of our ad in the airport and said, we're out there, this is great, like, we need to be doing more of this. And so I think if you can't measure it, having the comments or the emails from sales to say, please keep continuing to do that, and having that support will really go a long way. Same thing with like digital ads. If you can say, hey, I know we're doing these, I'm not seeing, I'm seeing a lot more web traffic now, so if you can show that in your Google Analytics tool or another tool, if you can show that, hey, we're seeing a really good spike here, and I can't say for certain that it's just from our digital ads, it's probably a compilation of a lot of different channels that we're doing, but we're seeing a really good spike in our website traffic now. I think that that will help continue that brand exercise of continuing with those channels. So if you're doing podcasting, if you're doing other things that aren't as measurable, but you can show comments or interests or different things that are spiking, that'll go a long way to say, hey, I know I can't measure it this way, but I definitely am seeing the website traffic going up, and we're seeing a lot more demo requests. So what we're doing is working.
Awesome. No, absolutely. At the end is what you say. It is about seeing the growth in requests, seeing the growth in opportunities, eventually revenue as well. And I think we covered a lot today. I think it was brilliant. Thank you very much. Maybe just to wrap up the interview, if you can share what's next for you. What are your top priorities for 2021?
Oh, yeah. So, we have a big customer conference coming up in July, and looking forward to going to that in Vegas. should be exciting. We're hopeful that everyone will be coming and coming to see us and learning so much from all the new great products and things that we have to offer. So that's number one, for us, is in making sure that as an organization, we help everyone out and we make that a successful event. If I focus on customer as well as prospect activities, so I'm always looking at, how can I optimize our existing campaigns and where are there new opportunities. So again, I'll be partnering with our sales team and others in the organization to really look at different ways that we can optimize our existing programs. And again, trying some new things and testing, I think, and hopefully being able to do some more creative things like we've done in the past.
Awesome. And so some real live conference, like in face to
Absolutely,
face?
in person in Vegas.
Wow, in Vegas.
Yes.
Awesome.
So we will definitely have all those safety concerns addressed, but we're looking forward to seeing everyone.
That will be absolutely refreshing.
Yes,
I'm
it'd be
sure,
great to see people.
100%. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the interview. Maybe
Thank
just
you.
to close it, how can the listeners get in touch with you? What is the best way?
Yeah, so I am active on LinkedIn. You can find me just Carrina Ekvall, and yeah, reach out to me there, or please make comments. And love to hear from anyone if I can answer any questions, or um, again, I just love connecting with people. So for sure, check me out on LinkedIn, and happy to connect with you.
Awesome. Thank you.